Hey guys, this is Vishal and I welcome you to a fresh new episode of GoMechanic. Guys, ये वीडियो बहुत अलग रहने वाली है because in this video we are gonna have a look back at 2020. इस वीडियो में हम आपको लेके चलेंगे वापस 2020 में और आपको बताएंगे ऑटोमोटिव इंडस्ट्री के कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट हैपनिंग्स जो आपके लिए जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है. तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं. 2020, a year we thought that would bring all the good to us. But actually किसको पता था कि 2020 सच में हैप्पी न्यू ईयर नहीं होने वाला है. With the other auto manufacturers doing what they usually used to do, टाटा ने 2020 की शुरुआत की एक बैंक से. उस बैंक का नाम है टाटा अल्ट्रॉस. जी हाँ, प्रीमियम हैचबैक सेगमेंट में टाटा घुस गया और इसके साथ ही जो गेम है वो काफी ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट हो गई मारुति बलिनो और Hyundai i20 के लिए. फॉर दोज हु आर थिंकिंग दिस वाज इट, टाटा के पास बहुत कुछ बाकी था. टाटा ने सेम मंथ में लॉन्च किया टियागो का फेसलिफ्ट जो कि BS6 कंप्लायंट था. और जो लोग सोच रहे हैं कि टाटा यहां रुकने वाला था, उनके लिए एक चीज और बाकी थी. एंड दिस वाज द टाटा नेक्सॉन ईवी. नेक्सॉन ईवी के लॉन्च के साथ ही टाटा पहला ऐसा इंडियन ब्रांड बन गया जिसने हमारी कंट्री में एक इलेक्ट्रिक ईवी को लॉन्च किया था. नाउ यू वुड से कि टाटा नेक्सॉन ईवी के आने से पहले Hyundai कोना ऑलरेडी आ चुकी थी, बट गौर कीजिए, मैंने बोला टाटा बना ऐसा पहला इंडियन मैन्युफैक्चरर जिसने इंडिया के अंदर इलेक्ट्रिक SUV को लॉन्च किया. विद द इलेक्ट्रिक गेम गेटिंग स्ट्रॉन्गर, MG ने सोचा कि वो भी कॉम्पिटिशन में हाथ जरूर डालें और इसी के साथ आ गई ZS EV. जी हाँ, ZS EV काफी अच्छे अमाउंट्स में बिक चुकी है इंडिया में एंड वी आर ईगरली वेटिंग फॉर द IC वर्जन ऑफ द ZS. लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, जनवरी के महीने में ऑटो मैन्युफैक्चरर्स ने फाइनली डीजल को डिच करना शुरू कर दिया. इसका रीजन सिंपली ये था कि BS6 नॉर्म्स आ रहे थे और प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट बहुत ज्यादा ना बढ़ जाए, इसकी वजह से अफोर्डेबिलिटी को मेंटेन करना भी जरूरी था. तो इस सबको दिमाग में रखते हुए धीरे धीरे करके ऑटो मैन्युफैक्चरर्स ने डीजल कार्स को बंद करना शुरू कर दिया.
COVID-19 was not the only Chinese thing that Indians were introduced to in the month of February. 15th edition of Auto Expo was held. India's largest automotive show saw many automakers back off this time due to the ongoing slump in the industry. But what it saw was the introduction of many Chinese car makers such as Hyma, Great Wall Motors and the already introduced MG Motors. At the show, Maruti Suzuki introduced the concept platform for their electrified future, the Futuro E. इसी के साथ मारुति सुजुकी ने लॉन्च किए अपनी विकेट SUV विटारा ब्रेजा और अर्बन SUV इग्निस के फेसलिफ्ट्स. एंड वोकल फॉर लोकल को प्रमोट करते हुए टाटा मोटर्स एंड महिंद्रा दे शोकेस देयर अपकमिंग लाइनअप. टाटा आल्सो शोकेस द इलेक्ट्रिफाइड वर्जन ऑफ देयर लेजेंडरी SUV द सिएरा. एंड ओ बॉय, वी आर स्टिल वेटिंग फॉर इट. और इसी ऑटो एक्सपो पे हमें देखने को मिली किया की तथा कथित टोयोटा इनोवा किलर द किया कार्निवल. Want to know more about the Auto Expo? Head on to GoMechanic blog. Link in the description. The American car maker Ford did not participate in the Auto Expo, but they still launched the facelifts for Ford Figo, Aspire and Freestyle. And that's all for the month of February. Let's head to the month that everyone thought will be the worst of all.
By now, the 2020 Auto Expo was done and dusted with most of the car manufacturers from China. The same was with the case, or rather is the case, with the novel coronavirus. On 23rd, the nationwide lockdown was implemented with no intention of ending anytime soon. Well, undoubtedly, every industry was affected, including the automotive sector. But Hyundai was just a few days shy of the lockdown and they launched the most anticipated and awaited SUV, Creta. और हम आपको ये बता दें, ये सेकंड जनरेशन है Hyundai Creta का. In these times, nature and environment were changing for good, amidst which BMW and Nissan changed their aesthetic appeal by introducing all new minimalist logos. And here comes the news from our beloved car manufacturer, Maruti Suzuki. मार्च में Maruti Suzuki लेके आए हमारे लिए Dzire का facelift. Well, of course, with a slight price hike. Also, there was a new trend cooking in the automotive industry. Comes the era of turbo petrol engines. हम ये कह सकते हैं कि ये turbo petrol को replace करने की साजिश थी, but not quite literally.
Alright, April. So the very first highlight of April was the launch of the 2020 Hyundai Verna facelift. So the Verna has been a competitive part of the C segment trifecta, accompanied by the Honda City and the Maruti Suzuki Ciaz. But इस साल Hyundai ने introduce किया अपना 1 liter turbocharged petrol engine, which also comes with a DCT, churning a total power of 120 bhp and 170 Newton meters of torque. So moving on, the month of April also saw many delays in new car launches and new car reveals. Right from the 5th generation Honda City, Tata's new mini SUV the HBX, Skoda Rapid 1 liter TSI and the Hyundai Tucson, to name a few. In this same month, Tata decided to pull the plug on the Tata Hexa, which is a successor of the equally ill-fated Tata Ajeya. The Tata Hexa had a not so good run in the Indian market, but only enthusiasts will be able to appreciate this car. Tata ने इसी month में अपनी सारी गाड़ियों को BS6 compliant कर दिया, but they left the Hexa as it is. The Tata Hexa was powered by a 2.2-liter turbo diesel Varicore engine in two different state of tunes, the Varicore 320 and the Varicore 400. Now another casualty of the BS6 arrival was the Fiat Punto and the Fiat Linea. So it's been few years that Fiat launched a new car in the domestic market, and with the arrival of the BS6 norms, Fiat finally decided that they won't be producing the Fiat Linea and the Fiat Punto. Now, with the end of April 2020 came a sad news. Sir Sterling Moss, the F1 legend, passed away at the age of 90 due to prolonged illness. Sir Moss did a total of 529 races in his lifetime, out of which he won 212 races. In his 7-year career between 1955 and 1961, Sir Moss finished as championship runner-up 4 times and in the 3rd place the other 3 times. The man was referred to as Mr. Motor Racing and will always be remembered for his contribution in the motor racing world.
India recorded a major drop. Not in the COVID cases, I am talking about the car sales. इंडिया में पहले ही हालत इतनी ख़राब चल रही थी मार्केट की, तो ब्लो ऑटोमोटिव इंडस्ट्री पे तो आना ही था। तो इस मई के महीने में जो हमारे ऑटोमोटिव सेल्स रिपोर्ट्स थे वो काफ़ी डिसअपॉइंटिंग थे, और मेजर कार मैन्युफैक्चरर्स लाइक मारुति ऑल्सो नोटिस्ड अ मेजर ड्रॉप इन देयर सेल्स फिगर। एज आई ऑलरेडी सेड दैट मारुति जैसे मेजर मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को भी ड्रॉप एक्सपीरियंस करना पड़ा, वहीं निसान ने डिसीजन लिया कि वो सनी और माइक्रा को डिसकंटिन्यू कर देंगे। येस, इंडिया हैड टू लेट गो ऑफ द कार एंड द माइक्रा। सनी और माइक्रा का जाना बुरा था, नो डाउट, बट जैसा कि कहा जाता है अगर कुछ बुरा जा रहा है तो हमें शायद कुछ अच्छा मिल भी जाता है। तो निसान के पास इंडियंस के लिए एक बहुत ही अच्छा गिफ्ट था, और इसको उन्होंने लॉन्च किया किक्स पेट्रोल टर्बो के फॉर्म में। ये अपने सेगमेंट की सबसे ज़्यादा पावरफुल गाड़ी थी, बस देखना ये था कि इंडियंस इसको रिस्पॉन्स कैसा देते हैं। वाइल निसान लॉन्च द किक्स इन द इंडियन मार्केट, सिबलिंग ब्रांड रेनो ने इंडिया के लिए एमपीवी की डेफिनेशन ही बदल दी। अब तक इंडियंस एमपीवी के नाम पर सिर्फ अर्टिगा को खरीदना जानते थे, मैं अफोर्डेबल रेंज की बात कर रहा हूं, बट अभी अर्टिगा के पास एक बहुत ही टफ कंपटीशन था। येस, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द चीपेस्ट एमपीवी इन आवर कंट्री, द रेनो ट्राइबर। स्कोडा, द जर्मन ब्रांड जिसकी इमेज हमारे दिमाग में ऐसी है कि वो परफॉर्मेंस गाड़ियां बनाते हैं, और कई लोग ये भी सोचते हैं कि वो महंगी गाड़ियां बनाते हैं, और कहीं ना कहीं स्कोडा की गाड़ियों की मेंटेनेंस भी महंगी होती है। So Skoda surprised the Indian community this time with the Skoda Rapid 1.2 TSI, which turned out to be the most value for money sedan in the Indian community.
And after a long lockdown, it was time to press the restart button. जून 2020 की शुरुआत में Datsun ने लॉन्च करी Redigo in an all new avatar. The upcoming Mahindra Thar, the 2020 edition, has been spied once again. And frankly speaking, I have lost the track of how many times it has been spied. अब तो थार को लॉन्च कर दो महिंद्रा. Enough of creating the hype. And Maruti Suzuki has waged a war against the diesel engines. ये वही कंपनी है जिसने 2020 से पहले अपने 1.3 लीटर DDIS इंजन पे पूरा बेस बनाया हुआ था। Now call it a marketing strategy or anything. This is not done, Maruti.
One of the biggest car manufacturers, Honda, in July was on fire, boasting of not 1 but 2 car launches. But MG and Hyundai had to just settle for 1 car launch. The facelifted Honda WRV is among the not so good value for money vehicles that was launched in July. But nonetheless, July में हमें देखने को मिली 5th generation Honda City. Sad to say, Chinese brand MG launched a new vehicle, MG Hector Plus. So basically, MG Hector plus 2 seats is MG Hector Plus. The Korean car maker Hyundai launched Tucson under the table. Well, this is the segment that no one cares about. But working towards the technology, Hyundai in July launched the IMT version of the Venue. Well, IMT वो ट्रांसमिशन है जिसमें गियर लीवर तो होता है बट क्लच नहीं. Another Korean car maker, Kia, boasted of really good sales numbers since its launch. This is where they brought white smiles to 1 lakh customers in just 11 months with the 3-star rated Kia Seltos. More on that later. Helping the car makers, the spare wheel became optional and the ISI mark was mandated on the windshields. Akshat, take it away.
The Maruti Suzuki Alto. Yes, the humble old Alto has just completed its 40 lakh sales milestone. The Alto was first introduced in India in the year 2000 and got the same 796cc engine as on the Maruti 800. The Alto debuted with a 5-speed manual gearbox instead of 4, and it also got AC in the topmost variant. It's been 2 decades and the Maruti Alto is still going strong. and it is still ruling the sales charts. The Alto has been a great success for Maruti Suzuki in India and has been a constant performer throughout the years. Next on this month is the Duster. Renault showcased the Duster Turbo Petrol in the Auto Expo 2020, and now finally Renault has launched the 2020 iteration of the Duster with an all-new turbo petrol engine. The 2020 Renault Duster came with the same 1.3-litre turbo petrol workhorse as on the Nissan Kicks. The engine came mated to a 7-speed Xtronic CVT or a 6-speed manual gearbox. Honda also made a move this month, launching the facelifted version of the premium hatchback, the Honda Jazz. The new and slightly updated Honda Jazz came with the now BS6 compliant 1.2-litre iVTEC petrol engine, and the Jazz was offered in 3 trim levels: the V, the VX and the fully loaded ZX. Although globally the Honda Jazz has been updated to a newer generation, but sadly in India Honda decided to update the Jazz with a mere facelift and LED lights. Now, not this month but this year actually saw a sharp increase in the trend that Indians love to hate. It's called the sunroof, especially the panoramic sunroof. Many cars that debuted in this year featured a sunroof to attract customers. From the Hyundai Creta with its panoramic sunroof, the MG Hector, the new Hyundai i20 or the facelifted Honda Jazz. But we think Maruti Suzuki forgot the memo. The month of August saw some good news. After enduring a lot of poor sales, car sales were actually now rising. Many car manufacturers actually started posting positive numbers and reported increase in sales by the end of August 2020. As usual, the Maruti Suzuki was dominating the car sales, with the Hyundai Creta and the Kia Seltos making a space for themselves, also joining the Hyundai i10, which also secured a space in the top 10.
The most awaited Kia car finally came to India. Kia's dealerships were filled and flooded with inquiries and people. Kia Sonet finally started its India journey with a bang. While Kia brought in a new compact SUV, Toyota launched in India what was already successful and familiar to the Indian audience. जी हाँ, मैं बात कर रहा हूँ Toyota Urban Cruiser की, जिसका डिज़ाइन और काफ़ी सारे बाकी एलिमेंट्स मारुति की विटारा ब्रेजा से उठाकर इंडिया की मार्केट में दोबारा लॉन्च कर दिया था। आपको क्या लगता है कि ब्रेजा के साथ अर्बन क्रूजर को लॉन्च करना एक ऐसे टाइम पर जब सोनेट ऑलरेडी मार्केट को हिट कर चुकी थी, was it a smart decision? You tell us in the comment section below. Skoda also updated their lineup this month with the launch of the Rapid Torque Converter Automatic. New launches are good, but you should never forget to celebrate your success. जी हाँ, टाटा टियागो ने पार किया 3 लाख सेल्स का माइलस्टोन इसी महीने के अंदर। सितंबर में एक मेजर रूल अपडेट आया जिसके तहत आपको अपनी गाड़ी में HSRP यानी कि हाई सिक्योरिटी रजिस्ट्रेशन प्लेट का लगाना जरूरी था और साथ ही साथ कलर कोडेड स्टिकर का होना भी मैंडेटरी कर दिया गया था।
In another feat this year, Tata Motors has achieved a milestone of 4 million vehicles on the road. और बहुत सारे teasing और spice के बाद महिंद्रा ने finally reveal करी the 2020 iteration of Mahindra Thar. And in the series of achieving feat, Maruti Suzuki's Nexa offering, the Baleno has crossed 8 lakh sales. And that's all for the month of October. अब चलते हैं उस महीने की ओर जब Global NCAP धड़ल्ले से गाड़ियां टेस्ट कर रहा था।
Talking about the new car launches in November, the next-gen i20 set foot in our market, followed by the cult Toyota Innova with its facelift. Spreading the awareness about safety, Global NCAP tested 4 cars that are sold in India. And here is a rundown. Maruti Suzuki Espresso with 0 stars, Kia Seltos 3 stars, Hyundai Grand i10 Neos 2 stars, and the most anticipated Mahindra Thar 4 stars. Well, the year did pass in a jiffy. Well, it's December already, mate.
And finally, 2020 ended with another good launch. Nissan launched the Magnite at an introductory price of Rs 4.99 lakhs only. As of now, the Nissan Magnite has garnered over 30k bookings, and Nissan is planning on ramping up the production to meet with the demand. It seems that the Magnite will do the unthinkable for Nissan in India. In other news, Honda decided to close off its Greater Noida plant, also putting a stop on the Honda Civic sedan and the Honda CR-V SUV. It seems like Honda is planning something on its India operation. Moving on, Chevrolet had ceased production in India in 2017 and is now planning on closing off its Talegaon factory. The company rolled out its last model in October 31 for exports. It is reported that Chinese car maker Great Wall Motors will be now taking occupation of the now defunct factory. Alright, so in excellent news for Indian motorsports fan, Jehan Daruwala, a young Indian racer, actually bagged his first win in the Formula 2 racing. This win came after a dramatic duel between Daruwala and Michael Schumacher's son, Mick Schumacher. Alright, so the very last highlight of 2020. The new Land Rover, the 2020 Land Rover Defender, scored a perfect 5 stars in the Euro NCAP crash test. The 2020 Defender scored a 85% in both child and adult occupation protection crash tests. In India, the Defender 110 is priced at 79 lakhs all the way up to 89 lakhs. This is the ex-showroom price. So this is the wrap of the year 2020 in a nutshell. New cars were launched, car launches were delayed, there were some disappointments, there were some highlights, some unspeakable things happened. Coronavirus. But whatever it was, 2020 was one hell of a year. So that is all for now. I am Akshat, this is Vishal, this is Ritvik, this is Utkarsh. You are watching GoMechanic and we wish you a very happy new year. As always, if you like this video, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification to always stay updated. Goodbye and happy motoring.